Hello, this is Greg Berzinsky for Beardbrand. Do you trim your beard at home or do you trim it at the barber? The survey says recently I put a very informal survey up on the story section of Instagram, and I just asked just a couple of questions. I said, how often do you cut your beard, and do you cut it at home or at a barbershop? And to my surprise, my DM blew up with 204 responses. I was actually a little surprised that 70% of you trim your beards at home by yourself, and only 24% do it at a barber. There is a small percentage, 3%, who go to the barber and then touch up their beards on their own in between, and then 3% who don't trim their beards. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So 70% of you are trimming your own beards. And so I was thinking about what we post on Beardbrand here. We have a lot of hair clips, of course, and we have an occasional beard trim, and we do that at the barbershop. And then I've done a beard trim, and I know that other people on staff have done some beard trimming videos. So 70% cut their beards at home. And I asked, why do you do that? And so the two number one reasons, actually there were three reasons. One of the reasons was I just like trimming my beard. And the second reason was I've had a very bad experience at a barber, and I prefer to do it myself. I think I can do a better job myself. And then the third reason of why people don't go to the barbers is they don't have the money to go as often as they would prefer. So they end up just doing it themselves, and over time they've gotten better. And instead of going to the barber, they do it themselves. Some of those people who responded actually go maybe once a year as a special treat and will have their beards cut by a barber. But a lot of you have had bad experiences at barbershops. And so I know there's a lot of barbers that follow us, and I've not had what I call a bad experience at a barbershop getting my beard cut. And so I think what you need to do is find the right barber. So getting good recommendations from people on the best guys in your neighborhoods, in your city to cut beards, I think is utmost importance, unless you want to do a trial by ear, like I did originally with my haircut, to find some of the better barbers in Philadelphia. I was willing to sample a bunch. Not quite willing to do that with my beard. If my hair gets messed up, I'll shave it off. I'll cut it really short. If my beard gets messed up, I'm not crazy about cutting it super short at this point in my life. So let me give you a little breakdown of how often people go to the barbershops, because that was my second question. First was, do you go to the barber or do you cut at home? And then, how often do you go? And here's some of the answers to that. I'm going to read this list. For those who go to the barbershop, 6% go every 2 weeks, 18% go every 3 weeks, and then the overwhelming majority of people who go to a barbershop to get their beards done, 53% go once a month, 6% go every 2 months, and then 18% go every 3 months. So there's a big jump. It's either once a month or then every 3 months. So let's talk about the guys who are cutting their beards at home. Less than 1%, actually I think 2 people responded, cut their beards daily. Those are guys rocking a stubble beard. They just take their clipper, put a guard on it, buzz over their beards daily to get that 5 o'clock shadow or 1 week or 2 week look, maintaining it daily. Majority of guys actually are cutting their beards every 2 weeks to 4 weeks, with a lot of them, 23%, doing it weekly or every 2 weeks. So is that because you want your beard trimmed, or you're at home and you're seeing it and you're going to do it? Guys who go to the barber don't want to mess it up and aren't used to cutting it themselves, so don't. So why do guys cut their beards more often at home? And so that's just surprising. The guys who cut their beards at home do it fairly often. 23% though are doing it monthly. So majority of the guys who cut their beards at home are anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. We have 13% doing it at 2 months, and 9% are doing it every 3 months. So a lot of guys, even if they're doing it at home, aren't trimming their beards too often. So back to the people who cut their beards, that 3% who cut it once a year, or cut it never. So The guys who are cutting it never obviously are rocking a ZZ top or are doing a yeared, so they're not cutting it. A percentage of the guys who responded or who are never cutting their beards are because there's not enough there to cut. Guys who are fairly young starting out in their beard journeys. And then I got 2 women responding who say they never cut their beards because they don't have facial hair. And then the one who I know personally, it's a good thing she doesn't have a beard because she looks like this and she doesn't trim hers. So if you're cutting your beard at home, I hope that you're using really good scissors, and Beardbrand has great scissors. I love these scissors. They're very sharp. I've had a pair for about 6 months. Continue to be razor sharp, and there's no travel in the screw. A lot of cheaper scissors, over time the screw will loosen. Never had to make any adjustments to these. Great scissors. And of course using a Beardbrand comb. No snagging with the comb. So be prepared. If you're going to cut your beard at home, and 70% of you are, have the tools that you need to do it. The overwhelming majority of guys who cut their beard at home are using scissor and not clipper. At a barbershop you might get a clipper cut or a scissor cut. But at home, you're most likely using scissors. So be prepared and use great products. So comment below and tell us how often you trim your beard and whether you go to a barber or whether you're cutting it at home. Very curious. Actually, the next time we meet, I may be using these on myself. It's been almost 2 months that I had my beard trimmed, and you can see that it's grown back significantly. And I think it's time to take it back, which we know how that goes on over on YouTube, but you can see it grew back. So I don't think there's any fear in taking off some hair again, and we'll be doing that. It seems like we need more beard trimming videos, the self variety. So maybe we'll get the other guys on Beardbrand to tackle their beards on camera for you. So until we meet again, beard on.
Beardbrand is a premium men's grooming company with products not only for your beard, but also your hair and body. Do yourself a favor and head over to beardbrand.com and take care of yourself. Or you can stick around and watch a few more of our awesome videos.